This coverage of the 2017 SHOT Show on the Gun Collective is brought to you by New Frontier Armory and Lehigh Defense. Be sure to click the links in the description to learn more. Well, folks, Eric here, and I am with Tyler from Lehigh Defense, and he's going to walk us through some really cool new offerings they have, some brand new stuff, some updates on already proven designs. Tyler, tell us what we have in front of us here.
Alrighty, so let's start over here with the Controlled Chaos Copper. You may be familiar with our Controlled Chaos line. Great hunting bullet, even a good defensive bullet as well, where we're basically blowing the whole front of the bullet out using the pressure when it hits a soft target. So those were originally made out of brass, and they need about 2,000 feet per second to properly fragment, which is kind of a lot, limits the range on some of the calibers. So what we started doing, we started with this 115 grain, 300 blackout copper version. So it's about 5 grains heavier than the brass, but you also get a lot more velocity range where the bullet will work. So the brass needs 2,000, this will expand down to 1,400. We've shot them out past 400 yards, had them expanding beautifully, so that's pretty good range out of your 300 blackout.
Right, so you're talking like better expansion at distance too, or a lower velocity round to begin with.
Yeah, so if you take like the 223, for instance, a lot of people running SBRs, that gives you more inches you can chop off your barrel, have a bullet that's still gonna have good terminal effect.
Okay, so tell me about the different weights that we have here.
So basically we've gone through the line and we've added a copper version of a bunch of them. So the 17 cal, the brass one was an 18 grain, we went up to 20. It's generally just going up a few. We've now taken our 223 bullet, and instead of a 45 and a 55, we now have a 62 grain, which is a pretty solid weight for that caliber. We got 2 in the 308. We got the 115, which you can run in blackout, or you could load it in 308 Winchester, where it also does awesome. The 152 grain is great for 308 Winchester or 300 Win Mag. And then we also have a .311 diameter, so you can run that in your 7.62 by 39 and get a really good modern bullet for a caliber where a lot of people are shooting, you know, old surplus stuff. Really bring that up into a solid round.
Well, I really like seeing the 17 down here. So you fireball guys, or man, it would be awesome if you guys could do like a 17 HMR with that as a factory load. That would be super safe, because that's only a 2,500 feet a second round to begin with. But like those of you that are into varmint hunting or love destroying prairie dogs, that would just be pure carnage.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of guys hunting, especially out in California too, because they're all going to be lead free. So there's a lot of prairie dog, ground squirrel, etc. hunting out there. So they're really liking that. I think that copper one's going to do great. I don't think we're going to venture into the rimfire stuff. So this one's probably still just going to be available as a bullet to load, but you got a bunch of different calibers you can load that thing in, and it should be pretty awesome.
So CCI, if you're watching, we want you to pick up. This is a better bullet for your varmint grenade. So pay attention, talk to Lehigh, get on this. All right, tell me about the 9mm Xtreme Defense here.
All right, so the Xtreme Defense is one of our FTM, our fluid transfer monolithics that you've seen around. Started with the penetrator, of course added the defense line to rein in that penetration. We also get a bigger wound cavity. We're directing more stuff outwards, slows the bullet down quicker, causes more damage. So the 9 was always a 90 grainer, very fast bullet and a sort of quick load. So we've been working on a 125 grain version. Of course, since there's no lead, it's longer. It's like a 147. So that's going to be a subsonic load, and it still does awesome. So I know we got a lot of suppressor stuff going on. We love shooting suppress here. We love subsonic stuff, as you know, you may have seen with our 300 blackout. So that's going to be an awesome bullet in the 9mm. That's going through the final testing on this new version of it. So that should be available soon. I believe we are going to do a factory load, but as a bullet to load yourself too, so that you can play around with it and get a load that works well with your gun, your can. That thing's going to be really good.
Fantastic. Well, these you guys will be seeing the close-up as we talk about these, but the head on these Xtreme bullets looks like a Phillips screwdriver. So imagine one of those screaming at you. It's pretty nasty stuff. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate the help. Folks, thanks for watching. Be sure to click the links in the description to hear about our sponsors, Lehigh Defense, who we're with now, and New Frontier Armory. Thanks for watching.